I'm Dr. John Rogers, a fellow of the American College of Cardiology. I am a cardiologist in San Diego at Scripps Clinic, and we're getting together today to talk with Isaac Delgadillo. Isaac, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, you guys. My name is Isaac Delgadillo, and I'm here with Dr. John Rogers today to talk about a very important situation relevant to his cause.
Right. Well, Isaac, I just so excited to be here with you today. And you recently were involved in saving a man's life. An umpire in a baseball game you were actually taking part in is what I understand, which is just amazing. Can you please share this experience with us?
Yeah, of course. So this happened a few months back. It was during our team was up to bat, and one of the players hit a foul ball, and it's like, routine. Everything's routine. We all look to where the ball goes. We look back and we see the umpire collapse on the ground, and everything was just it was a panic from that point onward. And from my training that I received at school, I just knew what I had to do. At that point you don't know what's going on, but you just know that he's unconscious, and you need, in those cases, possibly an AED, which because he could possibly have a heart attack. So what I ended up doing was running over to the football field because I knew there was a game happening. And for the football games, we have our sports medicine coach out there with the cart, and it has the AED in there along with the first aid kit and anything else that they would need. So I just went on a hunch that he would hopefully be out there, and thank God that he was, because the only other AED in the school is all the way at the front, and it's a far run. So I was able to retrieve it, get it over there, and let the professionals handle the rest.
Wow, I mean, that's just amazing. I can't tell you how wonderful that is that you not only were present and you saw it and you realized that something was wrong, but you knew what you should do. How do you think you knew what to do? What would you credit for how you knew what to do? And on top of that, what was going through your mind when you saw this man collapse like that?
Yeah, I mean, when I seen him collapse, it was a shock, like, right? You'd never want to see someone fall like that. It was scary, because it was so sudden. And I just give all credit to my sports medicine teacher, Mr. Zessa, Christian Zessa. Man, he's a great teacher. What he preaches, what you guys preach, the AED training and CPR training, and I was able to help him get more AEDs at our school because of that situation.
Wow.
And I was talking with him about it, and it's sort of a shame that something this bad had to happen for them to finally listen to us about putting more AEDs spread around the school.
So when you ran to get that AED, how did you know exactly where it would be? Just basically what you learned in from that teacher, from that class, or is there signs posted? How were you? I know you knew the one was in the front of the school. How did you know there might be one at the football field there?
And part of it was a hunch, and another part of it was that it's always located on the medical cart. Wherever that goes, it's always there. So, and I was just hoping if it wasn't there, I can get him to drive the cart over to the front to get the other one. But I was lucky enough that it was there on that cart. So
Well, that's pretty amazing. So not only are you in the heat of a game, you're noticing somebody collapsed, your mind starts thinking to get the AED. That's and how long before that had you gone through your training of CPR and AED use?
it had been around, I want to say, a month before that. We had finished our first, like, section of class, and the first the first part of it is the first aid and AED training. So I had completed it, and I was on course to become certified, but I forgot what ended up happening. It just the something happened that where it didn't ended up happening, but I had already been fully trained in it, and like we do practicals to test our knowledge on it, and I had passed it as well. So the knowledge was still fresh, so thankfully.
That's great. And I bet it's ingrained in your mind forever
Oh,
now.
absolutely, yeah.
After
I'm
your,
never forgetting it.
yeah, I would imagine after that experience. Yeah, Isaac. And can you tell us, Isaac, where was the actual sort of location that you received the CPR training and the AED training? Was it a class that was an entire semester? Was it a PE class? Tell us about how you received that or at your school.
Yeah, so at our school they offer it's a full year class, 2 semesters of sports medicine. And it's an optional class. It's not required at all. It's just I knew like I want to go into the medical field. I'm going to school to be a hopefully one day a registered nurse. That's what I want to do. And I noticed that class and I was like, it's one of like it's one of the only classes that are like in the medical field. So I took it, and within that class, you go through tons of training. You go through the CPR and AED training. There's disaster training. The we get certified. So it goes down the whole list, and obviously like for sports, like sports related injuries and such. So yeah, it's a class. It's at my school at Downey High School. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Um, I'm going to ask you a question, Isaac. Do you think that I may already know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Do
Yeah.
you think CPR and AED instruction should be available or given to all high school students? Should should you do you think this should be a requirement for high school students? Do you think it should be optional for classes? What are your thoughts on that now after using this?
I think it should absolutely be a requirement for all high school. Like I believe it should be a requirement for graduation, just solely off like the reason that it's so important, and you just never know what can happen. And if every student is has at least a few hours of training in like in whatever, let's say health class, it makes such a difference when it comes to emergencies. And it's not like usually people say like they seen an emergency happening and they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Now everyone will know what to do, and it just takes one person to do one thing, and it makes the situation that much better for the victim.
I love that, Isaac. It takes one person to do one thing. And in the case of you doing that one thing, it saved that man's life. So I think that's such a powerful message. And we're so grateful that you're sharing that with us. And I really just have one other question, keeping in mind, Isaac, that and I'm not trying to sound dramatic here, your heroic actions and the story that you have to tell about your life-saving experience, we plan to continue to share that with the medical community, with lawmakers in the state to try to help reinforce getting this into high schools, to the high schools themselves, and to the communities served by these high schools and by these lawmakers. Is there anything else you would like to say? Any advice that you would give to these people who are looking at, to us, to those that are trying to implement this type of training for all high school students?
I mean, one thing I can say is that, I mean, this is to all people like who think they need specific training to be able to help someone in need. You really don't. Any little thing that you can do to help a situation is monumental. And if we get if we get everyone, like you said, like the lawmakers, people who pass these can push these laws to make this a requirement. If we can get them to do that, it just drastically changes how how we can handle emergencies, and it'll help just so much with emergencies like that, because now all students will know what to do, and it's less of a like a it's gonna be, how do I say, less of a miracle for things to happen now. It'll be more of like, we know what to do, let's get it done. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, Isaac, we refer to people who show up and take care of the problem right away as first responders, and that's exactly what you were. And imagine in that situation with that gentleman, and imagine thousands and thousands and thousands of more first responders. And I think you hit the message right on the head. Less of a miracle will be necessary if more people know about it.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
Isaac, we really appreciate you being here today. We really appreciate you talking with us. We are so very proud and grateful for your actions on the spot, and putting that training you got to action. And so, um, well done.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to, help me spread this message along with you guys. I'm super grateful for it. It's that's our job, right? We're trying to just make it better for everyone.
Yeah,
That's the message. Yeah.
yeah, great.